What's up, y'all? It's Jimmy coming to you guys with another video. Before we get into the video, as always, please make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. And when you guys hit subscribe, please make sure you guys are hitting that notification button. So getting right into the review, this sneaker is probably one of the most anticipated drops of 2023 so far. And it's still pretty early on in the year, right? We're only in March, so Jordan Brand, Nike, New Balance, all these other sneaker brands have a lot more time to drop even more heat. But I'll definitely say for myself and personal preference, this is going to be my most anticipated sneaker, and definitely for me, sneaker of the year. And I know a lot of you guys are thinking, yo, Jimmy, that's way too big of an assumption to make, especially this early on in the year. But I'm telling you guys, when I saw the pictures, I thought they were absolutely fantastic, and seeing them in person, I'm honestly even more blown away. But I can't lie to you guys, I do think a big part of that is because I do have some history with the white cement 3s. So back when I was a freshman in high school in 2021, the white cement 3s that dropped were actually the first pair of Jordans that I bought with my own money. I remember my mom taking me to the local Champs in Houston and picking up these shoes in January, which is when I think they dropped in 2011, and absolutely being so amazed at the beauty of this shoe. And when I tell you all the fits that I had in high school with the white cement 3s went absolutely crazy, with the Levi 511s, Levi 501s, with the Obey tees. I mean, that was a time in itself. Clearly 12 years later, as a 26 turning 27-year-old, that's not really the way I'm dressing anymore, but looking at these shoes really does bring back so much nostalgia for me. But getting right into the review, here is the box that the shoes come in. So I believe this is Jordan Brand and Nike's second pair of their Reimagined iteration. And I'll definitely say I love the Reimagined series. I'm a sucker for the little details that Jordan Brand Nike always does with their sneakers. Honestly, any sneaker brand, if you're adding that little detail to the consumers, I'm always a big fan of that. And I honestly think the Reimagined series encapsulates that perfectly. For myself, even though I didn't have these when they dropped in 1988, the fact that I can have these now in this reimagined look is absolutely amazing. The box itself does have that vintage distressed look going into that reimagined look, and it's your standard Jordan 3 box, so no surprises there. And then moving down to the size tag reads Air Jordan 3 Retro. Colors are Summit White, Fire Red, and Black, and I got a size 8 men in these. I'll say these fit pretty true to size for myself, but I do think if you have a wider foot, you might want to go one size up. And the reason being is I don't know if the 3s that came out in 2022 are constructed like this pair here, but this pair specifically does seem to have a more narrow construction. And when you guys open the box, not only will you be greeted with the Air Jordan 3 white cements, you guys will also be greeted with the classic Air Jordan 3 pamphlet. This pamphlet basically tells you how the Air Jordan 3 is constructed and all the little details behind the shoes. I do remember the 2011 pair also having this pamphlet, so it's cool to see Jordan Brand keep up with the little details. And finally, here are the white cement 3s. I'm telling you guys, if you guys were anticipating the shoe, when you guys get them in hand, you will not be disappointed. For myself, I'll definitely say 3s are probably my favorite Jordan Brand model behind the 4s and the 1s, but this 3 in particular is constructed so perfectly. I clearly don't have a pair of the original 88 3s, nor have I ever seen a pair in person, but if I could imagine, this is exactly how they were constructed. And don't get me wrong, I love the pair from 2011 as well, because that really was my first Jordan ever as a true sneakerhead. But this pair here is just so much more sleek and wearable in my opinion. And I'll definitely throw some pictures to show you guys what I mean. The pairs in the past have definitely seemed a lot more clunky and bulky. With that being said, there's definitely pros and cons to that. This pair right here isn't as heavily padded, but since I'm wearing these more for fashion purposes, I really don't mind, since this is the look I prefer. Because one thing I'll definitely say, as a shorter person that likes to wear Jordans, sometimes Jordans just make you look too short if they look bulky and clunky. But this pair right here, even though it has that same height, doesn't feel like I'm wearing a pair of bricks on my feet. But getting to the midsole of the shoe, you have your classic Air Jordan 3 outsole. The one thing that I do like that Jordan Brand and Nike did is instead of having Jordan right here, they have Nike, which is true to the original release. Because if you look at the 88 3s that came out in 2013, I believe, with the Nike Air on the back, at the bottom of the outsole, it has Jordan instead of the red Nike. And even though that's a little detail that most people might not care about, I do think your heavy sneaker enthusiast is really going to appreciate that detail. And then moving on to the midsole, you have your classic Air Jordan 3 midsole with the typical color blocking you'd see on a white cement. But this time, to go along with the reimagined look, the midsole portion where it would typically be more like a pure platinum white is a sail off-white. And I know a lot of people are up in arms about this because some people are saying they hate it, some people are saying they absolutely love it. For myself, I'm always a big fan of that vintage distressed look, especially if it's done right. And I'll say, in my personal preference, it's done perfectly on the shoe. And for my pair in particular, the midsole has no paint issues. I know some people were having some quality check issues from Nike with their pairs, but my pair here is honestly fine. And then moving on to the uppers of the shoe, you have your iconic elephant print that is seen on all Air Jordan 3s. You have the elephant print at the toe cap and then at the heel portion of the shoe. Another thing that I do really like about this specific reimagined pair is the cut of the elephant print. It's a lot thinner, which makes it more true to the original release compared to previous Air Jordan 3s where the elephant print is typically a thicker cut. And another thing to notice about the reimagined white cement 3s is that the actual elephant print is going to be a little bit more narrow and faded compared to the previous releases. And again, I know some people had issues with the elephant print quality check for their Air Jordan 3s, but for mine, it really wasn't too bad. And then moving on up, you guys will see two types of leather that is typically on an Air Jordan 3. You're going to have a smooth grain leather and a more tumbled leather. Another thing that I like about the reimagined shoe compared to previous releases is that the tumbled leather isn't too crazy tumbled. I know for the 2011 pair, 2013 pair, and maybe the free throw line pair, that this tumbled leather was really tumbled and detailed. I know some people do like that because it gives the shoe a little bit more of a premium look. But for myself, this is the perfect amount of tumble that I want to see on a white cement 3. It doesn't look too artificial, it doesn't look too fake, and also in my opinion, when there was really tumbled leather and the shoe started to crease super heavy, it was really noticeable. And then moving on to the lacing portion of the shoe, of course the shoes come with white laces. And another small touch of detail that I really appreciated for the reimagined 3s is the eyelets right here on the lacing portion. Again, to go with that reimagined look, Jordan Brand made sure to make these eyelets right here in an off-white color. And of course for your tongue, you have your fire red Jumpman right there. And if you guys didn't know, this is the first time Jordan had his Jumpman logo on an Air Jordan sneakers, because the 1s and the 2s only had Nike branding, and the 3s were the first time that Jumpman was ever introduced. And just to bring up again, one of my favorite details on the shoe is the tongue and how sleek it looks. I know Jordan Brand has been shifting towards this style of tongue for the 3s, I think the past 2 years or so, and I love the fact that they kept that style true for the reimagined white cement 3s. And of course, you can't talk about a pair of 3s, 4s without talking about the heel tab portion. And I know I probably sound like a major Nike Jordan Brand fanboy right now, but they did this pair absolutely perfect. You guys can see instead of a pure white, the heel tab plastic right there is also in an off-white to go with that reimagined look. And of course, you have your white lining, which looks great when the shoe is brand new out the box, but I know it is going to get dirty over time. So I definitely recommend, if you guys are going to wear the shoe, make sure you guys are wearing a pair of white socks. And the little last touch of detail that Jordan Brand provided is the Nike Air hang tag, which is very iconic for the 3s and the 4s. But that was all the details that you needed to know about the white cement 3s. And now getting to my favorite part of the video, I'm going to show you guys how to look on feet. So I hope you guys enjoyed the on-foot look of the reimagined white cement 3s. These definitely will not be staying in the box and will be rocked heavily this weekend. Luckily, I was able to hit on sneakers on an early access, but even if I didn't hit on sneakers when they came out on the 11th, I definitely would have paid resale. With my birthday coming up, this would have been the perfect birthday gift to myself. But I really wish you guys the best of luck. I hope everyone that is wanting to get this shoe hits on them, whether it's through sneakers, Champs, Foot Locker, wherever it may be. Because I'm telling you guys, when you guys see this shoe in person, on video, wherever on the street, you guys would think those are definitely Jordan Brand's best release in the past couple of years. But that's gonna wrap up the video. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.